And we are back. I'm your host, Chef Hottie Big Body. Welcome. Today we got a special treat. I was going to do it last week, but got back from the revival and took a different trip on the last night. Fell down some stairs. Rolled my ankle real bad. Looked like someone taped a softball to my ankle. It's still swollen. It's down to a baseball, so that's a blessing. But I wasn't able to stand long enough to do what it takes to cook this. So I'm going to push it a little bit. I'm supposed to be sitting down relaxing, but Itty Bitty ain't here. She at work. And so I'm home today, and I'm going to do it while she's not here. And we'll get this thing rolling. But today we cooking gumbo, a Louisiana classic. And you ask yourself, what is gumbo? Well, gumbo, the word for gumbo means okra. But we don't have okra going in this gumbo. Gumbo came from Africa. A long time ago, Africans came to New Orleans and created a whole new culture, mixing the French cuisine and the African cuisine, and it became Creole. And that's where gumbo came from. And in our gumbo today, we're going to have, it's the superior gumbo today. It says, remind me of my childhood. When I was young, we'd go visit my great-grandmother in Cravens, Louisiana. Most of y'all don't know where that is because it might not be on the map because it's so small. But I used to go over there and around Christmas time. And every year around that same time, next door was my great-aunt Evelyn, and she would be making this gumbo. And I would go over there. Just leave my parents and siblings behind and go get me a bowl of Aunt Evelyn gumbo. And it's been a long time since I had her gumbo. She passed away a long time ago, but I still remember it. And so this is ode to her today. We're going to do it how she did it. What we're going to put in, what she put in hers. So today we're doing chicken, sausage, shrimp, and crab. She did it every year. Fantastic. Now gumbo takes some time. The most important part of gumbo is what we call the roux. The roux is 1 part flour, 1 part oil. That's all it is. Use 1 cup of flour, use 1 cup of oil. Now what we're going to use is vegetable oil. In our etouffees, we'll use butter for our oil. But in this, we're going to use vegetable oil for our gumbo. We'll get a real dark roux out of it. But I don't use exactly 1 cup of oil. I use like 3/4 cup per 1 cup of flour. But in this big pot, in the big gumbo pot, every good Louisiana has a good gumbo pot. And we got a good one. It's a big old pot because we like to freeze it, cook a big amount, freeze it, thaw it out later. It freezes well. Great easy meal later. But we're going to use 2 cups of flour and 1.5 cups of oil. Depending on the size of your pot, depending on how much roux you need to make, you got a smaller pot, 1 cup of flour per 3/4 cup of oil, or 1 cup of oil is perfect. But on this bigger pot, we're going to use 2 cups of flour and 1.5 cups of oil. It's about to get real. You got to have your essentials done. Go ahead and prep all your vegetables. And in these vegetables, what you need is what we call the Trinity. That is your onion. We got 2 yellow onions, we got 1 bell pepper, and 2 stalks of celery. That is your Trinity. French cuisine, it would be celery, onion, and carrots. But in the Creole fashion, the Louisiana, we just throw away the carrots, add the bell pepper, and that's what we got our Trinity. And later we'll add our Pope. Our Pope is garlic. Because if you ever look at a garlic clove, it looks like the Pope hat. That's why they call it the Pope down in New Orleans. So we're going to be using that as our 4th, vegetable. But we're going to get started with the roux, the most important part. If you mess up the roux, you have messed up completely. You can't just save it. You got to throw it out. So I'm going to teach you how to do it. You're going to start off adding your oil. Let it heat up just a little bit. We're going to add our flour, and then we'll go from there. And we'll get over by the pot, and we'll get this started. See you soon. All right, we are over by the pot. We're about to get this rolling. I know a lot of y'all are excited about this. I'm excited to do it. But we have our special stuff. We have our oil. We got our pot going. It's heating up. We're going to pour that in there. Get that oil just a little warm. Now, on your settings, you're gonna know on mine is kind of a medium high that I'm going with. A lot of y'all need to start on medium low until you get really good, because on medium high you got to be careful, because it will get hot and it will splatter and it will scar up your hand. Trust me, it hurts when it hits, because it sticks on there and it will burn. But we're gonna get that oil heated up a little bit. Got our flour. Get your whisk first. We're gonna whisk that all in, and then we're going to get the wooden spoon. Now make sure you got a spoon that has good corners on it, because you want to get around the edge of the pot while you're doing it. Why my pot spins, I have no idea. But we're going to get around the edge completely. We don't want nothing to burn on the bottom. Have beside you, go ahead and have what you're going to add to it quickly. We're going to add our vegetables, our Trinity, and we got our sausage that we're going to add once we get the perfect color of our roux going. Pot's heating up nice, so we're going to go ahead and add our flour. Get my finger out of the way. Difficult doing this without old itty bitty here. She'll be excited when she gets home. Knowing her, she'll have her spoon ready when she gets here. Go ahead and mix this all up in here. Get everything incorporated. Get it nice and smooth. Get all those lumps out. I want no lumpy gumbo. I want everything to be incorporated perfectly smooth. Look at it. Folks, we are smooth. Once you finish with that, discard your whisk. You won't need it anymore. Into the sink we go. Oh, here we go. Let's get this hot. Now this takes a lot of stirring. I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit. But you don't have to really stir much at first. We're going to get it all heated up and going. When you stir, always look at the bottom. We're not at the point where we really have to stir yet. But as it changes colors and you're going to be watching, you're going to be like, is this thing ever going to change colors? Oh, it will. And then when you get to that peanut butter color, you got to really go. Because it will come on fast. It will change from peanut butter to that dark roux we're looking for very, very quickly. And if you're not careful, you'll go too far and you will burn it. We're looking for a good milk chocolate, just past milk chocolate, exactly what we're looking for. If I can get my pot to hold still. Alright, I had to get me a towel so I can rest it right here. So I can kind of hold my pot still. Here we go. It's bubbling up. Now, when you're doing on medium low, to get the exact color you're looking for on your roux, it's going to take 45 minutes, sometimes an hour, depending on your heat. But here, we're going to try to get this whipped out in about 25-30 minutes. And like I said, do not try this on high heat until you have learned to successfully do several gumbos, several roux. I don't know how many I've done in my life, maybe 1,000 of these, but it takes skill. So adjust your heat accordingly. You do not want to burn your hand. You do not want to burn your roux. Once you get the hang of this, it'll seem like second nature, and you will have a brand new skill you've never had. And this is the whole base, the whole foundation to a good gumbo is in this pot right now. A good roux makes a good rumbo. So good rumbo, good gumbo. So once this gets where we start to turn to a peanut butter color, I will turn this back on, and y'all will see it slowly transform to a darker color. See y'all soon. All right, our roux is just a bubbling up. We're not having to stir constantly yet. Just kind of move that around every once in a while. Get around the edges. Edges are important. Don't want to just sit there and just gather up and burn right there. Light tap, Miss Sheila. Light tap on the pot. Now, we're going to talk while this is still trying to get past its first blonde color. Sausage. What sausage do you add? Add whatever sausage you love. This is andouille sausage from Savoy's. Now my favorite sausage comes from Eunice, Louisiana, from the Super Red. Great sausage, good spice. But Savoy's makes a good andouille sausage, so we're going to use that. I'm out of stock on the other ones from Eunice. It's been a while since I made a trip down there, and next time I go, I will stock up. But grab whatever sausage that you love. I am showing you the formula, and you add in what you want to add in. Add whatever meat you want. Do it how you want. A lot of times, the old tradition is you don't add any seafood if you add chicken. But we're going against tradition, and we add what we want to add because we love it. All right, let's still going. Soon it will actually change colors. Just be patient. Alright folks, our roux has now turned into almost peanut butter color. Right now is the perfect time for your etouffees, except we do butter as our oil than vegetable oil. But now we're getting closer. So in 8 minutes of doing this on medium high, we have turned to this color. And so there's a guy from New Orleans named Isaac Topes who does a dark roux in 15 minutes because he is insane and crazy. Boy, that is hot. But we are at this color, and I predict another 10 minutes we will be at our color that we want to be. Stay tuned. Alright, we are right at the color that we want. Look at that dark roux. It's not burnt. Make sure you have your vent hood on. This does smoke a little. Look at that color. Good chocolate color. That's what we want. Now, what we're going to do is we need to stop the cooking on this. And how do you stop the cooking on it? Add your Trinity. That's what we're going to do right now. Get all up in there. Alright, I'll stir this together and be right back. We have added our Trinity and our sausage. We added some salt. We're just going to let that them vegetables sweat just a little bit before we add our water. Then we're going to add our wonderful chicken base to it, turn it into stock. So we're just going to let this sit here and slowly cook down. See the water releasing down there? That's what we want. So we're just going to let the water come out here. Add some salt to help the moisture come out of the onions. And stay tuned, because then we'll start adding some water to it. And then we'll add our seasonings. Be back soon. Alright, we add some water and we took our whisk. Just going to whisk in, make sure all that flour in there incorporates. Right now it's more like stew consistency. We're going to add plenty more water to this pot right here. We're just going to incorporate all that. See how thick that is? Just go around the bottom, scrape up anything, and around the edges. I'm going to add some more water. Get out of there. I'm going to add 1 or 2 more of these things right here. And then our gumbo will be ready to add some seasoning. Be back soon. And welcome back. We have got the water amount we want in there before we add our chicken. We're going to go ahead and add our seasonings. So what you need is bay leaves. 1, 2 bay leaves. Now you can't have gumbo without adding some cayenne pepper, so we're going to add about a teaspoon worth. You can go heavier if you want to. Cajun cooking is not about heat. It's about flavor. It's about spices coming together to add flavor. So we're going to add just a little bit, about a teaspoon of cayenne pepper to it. Going to add 2 tablespoons of your favorite Creole seasoning. Or Cajun seasoning, however you want to call it. I'm going to add some more salt to her. Salt to taste. Salt little by little until you're happy with it. Because this is going to simmer for a good long while. And then, as we know, when water reduces, the flavor intensifies. You might have to add more water after a while of just simmering. That's okay. Good color on the gumbo. We are cooking up a storm. Now we're going to get our chicken prepared to drop in. Be back soon. Alright, welcome back. Our chicken has been added. Our gumbo is heating up. We're trying to get it to that point of simmering. Just a low simmer. And once we get it there, we're going to let it simmer for about an hour and a half before we come back and shred this chicken up. Real easy to shred up. That chicken's going to be so tender. You just break it apart real easy with your tongs. Simple. But you don't have to add anything to this step right now. You're just going to let all the flavors we added before just marry in there. Let it simmer away. We'll be back in about an hour and a half. Get this pot to simmering. Go kick your feet up. Wait on it. Just let the gumbo fill the house. Good smell. Be back soon. Welcome back. We have been simmering for 2 hours. As you can see so much water we lost. We were up here. Now we're down here. Chicken I took out and I just shredded it with the tongs. You can use forks, but it's so tender you can just take and kind of stab it all in there and it'll break up. So we're going to add that back. What we're going to do now is we're going to turn off our heat completely. If you look closely, you see all this oil up here? And you don't want that in your gumbo. It's just, it's not flavor. It's oil that has dripped from the sausage and from our own vegetable oil we added in our roux. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this pot cool down and all that oil is going to rise to the top and we're going to skim it off. If you leave it, it dilutes the whole flavor of the gumbo and it's not good on your stomach. It makes you feel, queasy all over. So we're going to get rid of that. So we're going to turn off our heat. Let our pot cool for an hour. All the oil will rise to the top. We'll skim it off and then we'll turn it back on. See you then. And welcome back. Our gumbo has cooled down some. Our oil has risen to the top and just look at this. I mean, who wants to eat that in their spoon right there? Nothing but oil. So what we'll do is we'll just do what I just did. Keep going around the pot. Dump it out. We'll just keep going around all this pot. Get as much of this oil as we can possibly get up. Put that in the nasty bowl and then we'll just dump that bowl out later. But let's just scoop all this up, skim all this oil off. You don't want your gumbo. You work hard on this. You want something that really just don't taste good and something that you worked hard on. So we'll skim all this off, then we'll turn her back on. Let her keep going. We get in the happy zone. Ready?
Yeah, we're rolling.
All right, welcome back. Itty Bitty, Sweet and Pretty's back with me.
Hey guys.
The gumbo is finished. We started off this morning by making our roux, flour, oil, 1 part flour, 1 part oil, and look at it now. Oh, we added egg. That's an ugly egg, but we added egg to it.
That one's ugly too.
Well, they're all ugly. But our gumbo is finished. Simple make. Get your roux dark. Go nice and slow with it until it looks like chocolate. Add your trinity, your onion, bell pepper, celery. Then add the pope, then add your sausage, chicken stock. Remember, we stir it till it's smooth, break all that flour up in there, and just let it cook low and slow. Add your meats, let them cook slow. Take your chicken breast out. How we did, we shredded all the chicken, and we just let it cook. Add all your spices to it. Salt to taste. It is on point, ready to go. Now, it's the fun time. We have rice. We have a bowl. We have a hungry itty bitty.
More shrimp and sausage than chicken.
It's all mixed in. But I know you miss sausage, Queen.
Sausage and seafood more than that. That's plenty. Oh, that's plenty.
All right.
That's plenty of food.
There is her bowl. I will take this from her. It's gonna be nice and hot. Good color on the roux. There it is. She's getting in her happy zone. Sausage. You always go for sausage.
Mmm.
Is it good? Are you happy? Will it satisfy you tonight?
I think so.
Oh yeah, by the way, this is Itty Bitty Sweet and Pretty.
Hey guys.
She's
I'm ugly.
She's itty bitty and she's sweet and pretty. Well, sweet sometimes.
All the time.
I have missed all your commentating.
I make things interesting.
But there it is. There's your Louisiana gumbo. Get ready for fall. Make your gumbos. Easy. Put what you want to in it. Enjoy.
I want to see what it'll look like. I didn't know what was going on.
Oh, tune back next week. We'll have another video or something special from Itty Bitty and Chef Big Body. Howdy, Big Body. We love you. We'll see you next week. Take care. Get in the kitchen. Cook. Sit at the table. Eat with your family. What are you doing? See you next week. Like, share.